Ooh. Good afternoon, from the African American Genealogical Society of Fort Wayne. I'm Adrian Wells, and I'm the historian of the society. And today we're going to be talking about Family Search, Full Text Search, the game changer. And this Family Search, Full Text Search has been a game changer for me because it's opened some doors in my research that probably would otherwise not be open if it wasn't for full text. Uh, so today we're going to be talking about what is the full text search and how is it beneficial and how to access and utilize it and the things that you can find and examples of breaking through a brick wall in research. So in 2024 at Roots Tech, Family Search introduced the full text search, which uses AI technology and also handwriting recognition in OCR, which is the optical character recognition, it's a software that enables the transformation of text images into a machine readable format. And this allows for the searching of the entire text of documents even prior to their indexing. And that is so true because when I started researching one of my ancestors, I was looking for a particular record and I had to go through all these probate records and they were like 200, 300, 400 pages. So I had to go page by page by page. But with full text search, it has really opened the door. And like I said, it's beneficial because it enables you to input data and search through millions of records containing the information you've entered, which hasn't been indexed. And like I said, without this, you would have to go through each record one by one, and hope you're going to find what you're looking for. So how do you access it and utilize it? For the number one thing is you need a family search account. So if you have one, you can just sign in. But if you don't have one, you would need to create an account in order to utilize it. And then once you've done that, then you can, when you log in, you can go down your home page, and on the right-hand side, you can go down and you'll see something that says Family Search Labs. And you want to go click on View Experiments. And then it's going to take you to the Family Search Labs available, and it's going to show you the available experiments. And you'll see it says expand your search with full text search. And so we want to choose that, or you can use that link that's on the screen to just go directly to it where you don't have to go to the homepage. You can just use that link to get directly to it. But once you hit go to experiments, you're going to come to the full text search landing page. And here is, I say, where all the magic happens. And you'll see that it says start your search, where you can search by keywords or a name or in place or year range, or you can either find a collection that you want to search or browse collections. And then there's some advanced search tips. And these advanced search tips are something that is important when you're searching, even when you're your regular research, but especially for the full text search. And I like to use the find exact word or phrase where you put your search terms in between quotation marks. So you just get that exact phrase. And then I also like to use include a specific word or phrase. If you see on the screen, you'll see Samuel Jemison plus Negro, because I was trying to find out who his enslaved were. And then so once you enter your search criteria and then you hit search, it's going to bring you to your results page. And here you see that the search results for Samuel Jemison plus Negro, it gives you 9,761 records that contain the search terms Samuel Jemison, Perry County, Alabama, or Negro. And then sometimes you might get a hit where it might be 20,000 records, or you might have 10,000 records, or it just depends. But you can also filter your results. At the top left-hand corner, you can also filter your search. And you can filter your search by either collection, where if you see a collection that you want to filter it by, you can choose that and it'll tell you how many records are in each one of those collections. And then you also can filter it by year. So if you know the year frame that you're looking for, you can filter it by year, and it'll tell you how many records are available by the time frames, years. Or you can also filter it by place. If you know the place that you're searching for, you can also do it that way. If it's 20,000, if you know you just want to be searching in Lawrence County, Georgia, you can filter it that way. And so on here, once you hit filter by place, it'll give you the different localities where you can search from, and it'll tell you how many records, and you can hit there, and then you can further filter it once you click on the specific place. Or you could do it by record type. What type of record are you looking for? Whether it be a census, a death record, or legal, something legal, you can filter it that way. So I wanted to see what I could find on Samuel Jemison plus Negro. And so, like I said, it gave me 9,761 records that contain those search criteria. But the first one is the one that I was looking for that sparked my interest, but it was the one I was looking for. And it was the first record. So I would hit on that and it would bring me to the record page. And here you'll see the actual record, and you'll see highlighted in yellow all the search terms. You have Samuel Jemison, Perry, Alabama, and whatnot. So it's going to highlight your search terms. And then over on the side, it transcribes the actual record, so you can kind of read over there. But with the transcription, you have to kind of be careful because sometimes it could be a lot of jargon. Using this artificial, intelligence, it might not be transcribed right. So you want to look at the actual record. But this is actually the record that I spent hours and hours and hours looking for. But with full text search, just a couple search terms, it brought me right to it. And this is just Samuel Jemison deceased, an inventory of his personal property of Samuel Jemison deceased December 14th, 1855. And you'll see a Perry, the name from the bottom, 13 years old, value 800. That's my third great grandfather, Perry Jemison. So this is with the record I was looking for. Then at the top, you'll see his brother Seaborn, and then there's some other family members on here. So like I said, it's a game changer because this record wasn't indexed, so I have to search all these pages, try to find what I was looking for. And then some example of records that you can find using full text search. Here is another part of a probate record for Benjamin Birch when his division of property was just and here you'll see in the red, that's a man grip worth 1,100, and that's another one of my third great grandfathers. And I did not find any other record for grip in the census, except for the census and, other things such that death records that might have of his children that listed his name, but I didn't find any other thing. And a cousin had posted something that she had transcribed when she went to the courthouse. So I thought, I'm gonna have to go to Lawrence County, Georgia to try to find, records of, my people. But with full text search, I just entered in grip and you put up some records. And then here's two other records, and these are indentures between Isabel Cadwell and Columbus Cadwell, Martin Cadwell, and these are her sons. But I guess she was giving property over to her sons. So some indentured records was found using a full text search, and this is something I'd never found in my regular ancestry search, even the family search, search. So it was like it was blowing my mind of all the different things that I was finding. And then here's, another one from heirs receipt to William Birch, executor of Benjamin Birch's property. And here you'll find Martin, and then there's a Katie, and there's a Lumbee. And these are all my relatives. Katie, she's another one of my, I think Katie's my third great grandmother, and Lumbee is her daughter, so that's a aunt. And then Martin is an uncle. Martin is Grip's brother. And our oral history says that we're both Cadwell Birch. Well, one of the brothers is Martin Birch, and the other brother is Grip Cadwell, is because when Benjamin Birch passed away, he divided his enslaved, to his family. So Grip went to his daughter Eliza, and she was married to a Cadwell. So after emancipation, Grip just kept the name Cadwell because that's who he was with. Although he was on the Birch plantation, but he just kept the name Cadwell. So you got one brother's a Birch and then one brother's a Cadwell, but they both came off the Birch plantation. So that's just another example of what you can find using the full text search. And then breaking through brick walls is something that full text search is, people have had success with, the full text search with breaking through some of their brick walls. And for me, it helped me break through one of my brick walls, which was, I wanted to know where Martin and Lily Cadwell were during the 1900 census, because I searched high and I searched low, and I could not find them nowhere in the census. And I'm like, I know they were there, but how come I can't find them? And I also wanted to know when Martin Cadwell and Lilia Birch Cadwell got divorced, because according to oral history, Martin Cadwell was married to Lilia, and they had two children, Emma and Gordon, Emma being my great grandmother. And they separated, and then he married Mary Curry. And I believe they got married around 1896 or before, because according to the 1910 census, Martin and Mary had been married 14 years. And then Martin and Mary's oldest daughter, Annie Cadwell, she was born about 1896. So Martin and Lilia had to be divorced prior to 1896. But I'm like, well, there's no record, and I find them nowhere together. But with full text search, I went and I did a search for Martin Cadwell of Lawrence County, Georgia, to see what I could pull up. And I pulled up these records, and it was like 3 containing his name, but I filtered it down by the legal documents, so it brought up 3. And so both of these records are what I was looking for. And when I hit on it, it pulled up the record, and I read it, and then here you see Martin Cadwell versus Lilia Cadwell. They had filed for divorce. So I was able to find their divorce record. And here just goes into detail about the divorce, that the divorce was granted. So I was able to break through that brick wall and figure out when they were divorced. And so let me see what the date. So they were divorced in 1896, and that would be why I could not find them together in the 1900 census. So, because they weren't together. But I still can't find them in the 1900 census. I don't know where they were during the 1900, because I can't find Martin with his new wife, Mary, or the kids. I can't find them anywhere, so I don't know where they were. So that's a search that still has to continue, but I was able to break through that brick wall as far as Martin and Lilia. And some interesting things that you can find or uncover when you're using this family search, full text search. Again, I went and did some searches for some other ancestors that I wanted to figure out what was going on with them, to learn a little bit more about them. So I went and did a search for my paternal grandfather, Marion Sneed. And so I'm gonna ask you the question, who stole the turkeys? And this really blew my mind when I pull this record up, but who stole the turkeys? And so I went and did a search for Marion Sneed of Rutherford County, Tennessee, and it pulled up some 29, I got 29 results. So I clicked on some of them, and I clicked on this one here. It was in the minutes of the Rutherford County Probate Court minutes, 1941 to 1945. And I clicked on it and I started reading, and I was like, hold on a second. So they were, him and his father-in-law, Ren White, they were arrested because charged with stealing 12 turkeys from Thomas Stegall and Alma Stegall. So they stole 12 turkeys in October. And I was like, what were they doing? I was like, what? Were they getting ready for Thanksgiving? Because this was in October. I was like, were they getting ready for Thanksgiving, stealing these turkeys so they could sell them, or were they still stole them so they could eat? But it was just blowing my mind, the stuff that I was finding. And I couldn't believe, I was like, what? We're stealing turkeys. But yeah, there was a court case. And then it went on to talk a little bit more about the court case. And then I also found their sentence. I found out that Ren, he was let free, but O'Marion, he got 90 days in the, was it 90 or 60 days in the workhouse. So he was convicted and got him some time. And then another record that I also found doing within the search was the sheriff's bill for boarded prisoners. And there you'll see there's Ren White and Marion Sneed, and it was 275. Was it 275? No, yeah, 275 for the boarding for those dates up there. And then Marion was 350 for those dates from January 5th, 1942 to January 6th, 1942. It was 350. So I was like, wow, just the stuff that you can find with doing this search, stuff that I hadn't found before. And then this other find really blew my mind, because one of my brick walls was on my Mormon line. So I went in here to see if I could try to find some information on my Mormon line, because that has been a brick wall for me too. But in the process, I found some information about Sydney Mormon, and it blew my mind. So I can't take care of you and the baby and my family too, so you must go. So here in this court record, Sydney Mormon had kicked out his wife Lizzie and their baby Johnny, because he told her that he couldn't take care of his mother and her family, and her and the baby too. So they had to go because he needed to take care of his mother and her family. So he kicked her and the baby out. And I'm like, what? But Lizzie further goes on to petition the court to try to get back her son, because in the process, after he kicked her and the baby out, he went and got Johnny and brought him back to his mother's house. And so Lizzie was like petitioning the court to get her baby back. So that was another record that I found within this full text search. And I kind of went in here and filtered it by collection. So it was the legal part of the legal collection. So I was able to find that, and it went in depth. So it was United States, Georgia legal, 1955. And there was like 3 records within that collection, but it brought it up. And again, you'll see the highlighted part of my search terms. But I just couldn't believe, that he kicked out his wife and the baby, because he said he couldn't take care of them and his mother too. And I was like, well, that's your wife and your baby. I mean, but it happened, but I was able to find the case in here. And so that really blew my mind. And I was trying to find there was another case too, where I don't know if it was Sydney, or if it was another one in the Mormons, but the wife went to the court too. I think it might have been Sydney, but I couldn't remember. I couldn't find, I don't know. I was having a hard time with this presentation where I had put these records to put in here, but she had went to the court and said that she wanted to get, no, I don't think it was Sydney, but it was another Mormon, but she wanted to get a divorce from him because, he was cheating on her. And so he came back to the court and said, no, he wasn't cheating with the other woman, he wasn't cheating with her. But the divorce was granted. And then I found out a couple months later, he married the woman that he was accused of cheating with. So he was cheating with her. But that's just some of the stuff that you could find in using the full text search. I don't. And because like I said, I had a hard time with this presentation because I had my documents and I thought I had them in a particular place. And so I went back to get them to put them in here. I couldn't find them. And I spent all last night trying to find them. I couldn't find them because I knew that was a question somebody was going to ask. You did. But I couldn't find the conclusion of the case. And it was like, so I was like, okay, I had all these documents. I thought I had it saved in my source box under, specific people, but I couldn't find it because I'm really not familiar with the source box and how to separate the different stuff. But I believe she did get them back, if I remember correctly, from the case that I read, that she did get them back. Because she did eventually go, her dad did take her in and take in the baby. So I believe she did get them back. But these different things just blew my mind. And I mean, full text search is something that all genealogists should employ because you never know what you're going to find when you're doing these searches, because it's stuff that I never thought I would find. I thought I was going to have to go take me a road trip to go try to find these different things. But you have to kind of play with it too. Like I said, you can use the different advanced research tools. Like the one I like to use a lot is the exact phrase search. And I like to sometimes put in the plus to add on. But with that plus, you got to be careful because if you put plus Negro, like I did, you're going to get all the records that have Negro, in it. And it could be a lot and it not be what you're looking for because it's just going to give you everything that says Negro. So, yeah, full text search is something, and I just employ everyone to get in there and utilize it to see what you can find. Because, I mean, I had some other records and different stuff that I was going to put, but like I said, I don't know what this presentation really gave me the blues trying to get it together because I thought on this new computer it was going to be saving the stuff, and I went over here and then it didn't save, and so I'm like, so it was like, so really, I actually just, yeah, it gave me the blues.
You put down a location.
Yeah, you can put down a location. You can put any search term. The plus doesn't have to be like Negro. It could be whatever you want. Yeah, like you wanted, you could put like plus a Negro man or a white man or whatever search term you wanted. Yeah, or you could, like I could have put Samuel Jemison. Like I could have put Cadwell, Georgia, which is Lawrence County. But you could just play around with it, to see, what will give you the hits. Yes.
If you deleted Negro plus, does it take you back to your original body of search?
Yes, it's still going to give you the Samuel Jemison, but it's going to give you.
It takes away all those other.
Yeah, but it's still going to give you a broad Samuel Jemison. I could just search for Samuel Jemison. It's going to give me 1,000, maybe about 20,000 records.
Yeah, the more information.
And the more information you have, the better. That's why I said using the filters is also a good thing. Because like I said, sometimes you may have like with Samuel Jemison, only had 9,791 records, but it could be, sometimes you'll get 20,000 and you'd be like 20,000 records. I got to go through 20,000. So you want to try to filter it out by location. So I could have went in there because I know I want to try to find him in Perry County, Alabama. So I could just just filter it by Perry County. So yeah, you just want to play around with it because like Samuel Jemison, he had plantations in Georgia, he had plantations in Alabama. So it's going to give you all, you know, those different hits, but I just was focusing on Perry County, Alabama. So that's why if I would have not put a place there would have gave me Samuel Jemison from all over. But I was just focusing on Perry County. But you can play around with it, leave out different stuff, add stuff, or whatnot.
You can try searching those words, hash, you'll get different hits. Yeah,
that's fair.
but those were the same.
Yeah. So, yeah, so you just have to play around with it because it's like some of the searches that I was doing, I was like, I just want this. Y'all give me all this other, I just want this particular thing. And that's why I said you have to remember too, you want to write down what you searched for when you're doing your searches, what criteria you use when you were searching, because you want to try to go back. You didn't save it in your source box or whatnot, you want to go back.
When you're either setting up a search bar.
Yeah, because like I tried to go back to try to find the record. I was telling you that I was looking for it and I couldn't find it. I was like, I know I found it and I can't find it. So where was it at? And I'm going through all these 9,000 records. What did I use to, get to it? So you want to, okay, I know this is the search that I used to find this. So yeah, that's what you want to do. And is there any more questions or?
So this is only in family search. So ancestry doesn't have anything like this at all.
No.
So I just want to be sure.
I mean, but you can like kind of do some searches I like wildcard searches, because that's why I said I tried wildcard searches in ancestry or whatnot, but it didn't turn up anything. But like over in family search, they're the kings of records. So they got stuff, that we have to go local to get. So like I said, I thought I was gonna have to go to Georgia to try to unearth some of these records, but with full text search, I was like, what? Because I had some other stuff on grip, my third great grandfather and some other relatives. I didn't want to put it all on here and it'd have been a 2-hour long presentation. But I did find other records, while doing the full text search of grip, because I found land records, homestead records, and things of that nature. So it was a lot of different stuff that I did, was able to find. Otherwise, I was not able to find just doing a regular search on family search or ancestry. Yeah. So I just implore you all to just get in there and play with it, because like I tell people, I was like, full text search. Have you used full text search? What is that? No, I didn't use it, but yeah, it's the game changer because it's changed my research, because stuff I'm spending hours trying to find. I go over here, enter it in, and boom, I got hits. Yeah.
Adrian, can I ask, did you compare the information that you found through family search, full text search, against any particular search that you did in the card catalog of Ancestry.com?
No.
Because, I mean, I guess the question would be from a lot of people who are not particularly familiar with family search and what all can come from it, that many of us, myself included, I have looked in card catalog, county, city specific in court records, which is some of what you displayed today, and not found these things. So my question would be, had you tried to find them in card catalog in Ancestry.com and did not find them, but did find them in family search?
Yeah, because like with Perry Jemison, like on Ancestry, I didn't find any information on him. So that's why I went over to family search. And early on in my research, family search was where I went to for a lot of my research in like Alabama, like their probate records, they're on family search. But like I said, they're not indexed. So you got to go page by page by page by page by page to try to find what you're looking for, and trying to find, the inventory of property in those probate records. Like the one record that I was going through in the Jemison line, the one probate record was like 500 pages. And what I was looking for was like at the end of the 500. So I had to go through all those pages to get to what I was looking for. So then I decided, well, I'm not going to start at the beginning. I'm going to start at the end and work my way to the beginning, because most of what I'm looking for is at the end. So, and that's why I was saying, and like with full text search, I just did a search for Samuel Jemison plus Negro and hit that search key, and boom, Samuel Jemison, the inventory that I found way back there was right there, and I got it within a minute. Yes, ma'am.
You know, I think forward and backward. I know it's important to find ancestors, but we are going to be an ancestor, or we are ancestors for the next 7 generations, will be looking for us.
Mhm.
What would you recommend to be sure we're putting in public records or any records to make sure that we're easier to find? And we don't get confused with the guy who stole the turkeys and went to jail, you know?
Well, documenting, that's the thing. Document your stories and yeah, books, put them in books. I mean, who better to tell our stories than us, and leave something behind for the future generations, and sources. Make sure when you're researching that you're putting down them sources where you found it. So that's might see your research, they'll be like, well, where'd you get this from? They can see, okay, this is where they got it from, and they'll be able to find it. Because early on in my research, I wasn't doing those sources or anything. I was just writing stuff down. I was doing double research because I'm thinking, going research, looking for somebody. And I'm like, yeah, I found it. I found it. Then I go home and I look at my stuff. Like, I already had this.
Oh. Yeah.
So that's important, because it's going to help you in your research. So you don't be doing double, research. And like I said, if I were to document where I found those records that I said that I couldn't find to put up in here, then I would have been able to get back to it. But yeah.
Sort of goes back to we all need to start writing our own story. And whether it's, Library Volume 1, Part 1, or first approach in my genealogy research, which has been talked about a lot over the last 20 years, I can say, because it's finding a writing that somebody else has submitted that throws a clue into somebody else's search that you, at this point in time, know nothing about, whether they are yet to come in the future or here and don't know they belong to us. Putting it in a publication and having it submitted to the library, whether it's 10 pages or 1,000 pages, it gives somebody else an opportunity to connect. Okay.
Yes. And I think my grandmother's first cousin, because she documented our family, and it's in a book here at the library called The Mudd Family of the United States. So I was able to take what she had put in the book, and I was able to, confirm some stuff, add stuff to it, and correct some stuff that was in that genealogy. But she left that to me, so that was the basis of my Mudd family research. And that helped me, a lot. And then also going to talk with the elders, talking with them and getting their stories. Because her sister, when I went to go, talk with her, sit with her, I was asking her different questions. She was like, oh, no, that ain't how it is. This is, what's what. And so I was able to get some clarification, because I don't know if when they put in the book, they just mixed up some stuff, because they had the grandkids listed as the kids of the grandparents. So I was like, wait a minute, she had to be 65. She was 65 years old when she had this baby. That can't be right. But it was a mix up in how it was put in the book. So I had to go interview, talk with his cousin. And she said, no, that ain't how it goes. This is how it goes. So yeah, but without that documentation, I would have been starting at ground one, but that was the foundation of my research.
Wouldn't it be safer to download to your computer for the response?
It would be, But that's the problem. When you download, you gotta know where you're downloading it. And that's the problem. I don't know if I downloaded on my laptop or my desktop or where I downloaded the record at. Because I thought that if I'm on my desktop computer, I should be able to go to my laptop and open up the same file because the OneDrive or whatever and get the same. But that wasn't the case. I couldn't find it. So yeah.
Have thoughts.
Yeah. So I'm like, is it on the laptop computer? Is it on the desktop or where did I put it? Yeah, so. So yeah, we just want to play with it, but I implore you to get in there and see what you can find, see what brick walls that you can break down. Like I said, it's a game changer because I go in there and play with it all the time. And I'll be up all times of the night playing with it, seeing what I can find. I know my neighbor's like, what is he doing over there? Because he over there screaming and because like when I found that divorce record, you don't know the scream I let out. I was like, it's like, is he all right?
Question, you mentioned that about the divorce record, you said the divorce record was 1896.
Yes.
But they didn't show up in the 1900s.
No.
And this next marriage that she has, there is a next marriage, now, yes?
Yeah, both of them remarried. Yes.
So in her next marriage, she had children or no?
Yes.
So and where the children were born or the age of the children, detect, when she got married to this second person or where they were living at that time?
Yeah, with Lilia, I got a lot of records on her because she ended up marrying Andy Birch.
She's the child,
Who?
Lillian,
No, she's the wife.
so she's the divorcee,
Yeah.
and she has her next child after 1900.
Well, her and Martin, they had two children, which was Emma and Gordon, Emma being my great grandmother. And then she had her son, Gordon. And that's what the oral history was, that Martin Padwell was married to a Lilia something no one knew. And that's what DNA came into play also, how I was able to figure out who this Lilia was. Because like I said, in that inventory, you seen that Lumbee and that Katie. Katie is Lilia's mother and Lumbee is her sister. So I was able to do some DNA because all Lumbee's descendants were showing up in DNA. So I was able to figure out that the daughter of Katie, Lilia, was the wife of Martin Cadwell.
Good research.
Yeah, so I broke down that brick wall using DNA. So the question still lied where, because they said Martin was married to Lilia, and I know that my great grandmother, she was born in 1885. So I tried searching with Emma. I tried searching for Emma in 1900. I can't find any of them in 1900. So I'm like, where were they at? Did the census taker skip them or what's going on? Because I tried different first name search, just a surname search, to see if I could find it, but nothing. But I know they were there because, the mayor, because like my Emma, she ended up getting married to Henry Wells, I think in 1902. So I know they were there. But in 1900, where? Because I can't find any information in 1900.
Of course, knowing you, knowing how you do, you did check state census records as well.
Yes.
To see if there was any mishaps.
Yeah, and I checked surrounding counties and different stuff because a lot of the relatives, they were in the different counties because Lawrence County was all these different counties was created from different counties. So they might one record they might have been in Johnson County or Montgomery County, and then the next one they might have been in Lorenz because they was right, the bordering counties. Yeah, because like the Mormons, they were in Johnson County, which was just a county, over. So, and then other records, they're in Lawrence County. So it's a flip flop. And just like with Lilia, her and her husband, they moved to to a different county, us 2 counties over when they got married. So, yeah. But I'm still playing around with it to see what I can, with the full text search, to see what else I can find using different, search criteria. Yeah.
The folks that I had my uncle, married his wife, they got married in New Hampshire. Multiple times.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's the problem too, is trying to figure out where they were at. But I tried the different counties to no avail, so I just put Georgia. Okay, I just want them in just Georgia, and it still didn't pull anything up, so I'm still on the search for where they were at in 1900. I know they were there. So,
I have thoughts,
Mhm.
that is, of course, we have all these things that I think, we wanna remember to jot them down, but we don't know.
Yeah.
What about church records in the community? And that would be possibly something that might, show up in the periodicals collection.
Well, I search the books here at the library in different places, so that's why I said you gotta go local. I might have to take a trip, yeah. Yeah. But hopefully Family Search, they'll get all the stuff just been available to us, I pray, yeah. But I thought I was going to take me a trip to try to find, information, but I just put in some terms and I found it. Yeah.
Safe on, yeah.
Yeah. But that's all I have. So if we don't have any more questions. So I don't know if you guys want to. Okay.
Question of whether or not answers our computers here, yes, so they know online, the answer can get on family search here.
Yeah. So yeah, because I wanted people to to go out and play with it. So that's why I was short. So can have some time to try to go play with it.
The clarification on access to family search here at the library, do they have to have a personal account already, or can they set up an account from the library? That's been a question that's.
You can create one at the library, but I mean, for people who are like, oh, I don't know if I wanna make an account, why not? It's free.
Yeah, it's free 99.
Email spammed by them, yeah.
My cousin used Family Search. He was successful in all of it in 1500, from here to Mexico to Spain to Italy. And he has shared his password with me. So is that something I can just come in here and tap into as long as he's giving me the password? That way I'm not repeating his research, but I do kind of want to check some part of it. I'm just like, how did we get all the way to Italy?
Yeah.
And
I mean-
support his research.
Right, with his login to Family Search, you can definitely do that, but the tree on Family Search, it's public, so even if you had your own account, you could contribute and support his research.
Oh, and
You're not
tap into
making
the-
a new tree, you're just contributing to the one that's there.
Right, because
Yeah.
he wasn't able to complete my entire family. Our fathers are brothers. And he's been sending out mail and email and asking them, fill this out, and they haven't completed it. So I wanted to help fill my father's branch on his behalf.
Yeah.
That's good to know.
Yeah. So we thank you for joining us for Research Tools and Tips. And our society email is the AAGSFW@gmail.com.
It's a long one.
Yes, and our website is also the same, the call letters.com, AAGSFW.com.
So
Yeah.
you're good.
And also you can find us on Facebook at the same. No,
And I get pencil work.
yes. So those of you that are here can go and, yeah, see, go play with it a little bit if you want. Or you can wait till you get home. Okay.